Welcome to the show. This is a show I simply titled Let's Talk. I am your host, Seth, and I am here with my guest. I'd like you to say something about yourself, your name, and how old you are.
Well, my name is Kat, and I'm 29. Oh my God, I'm in denial. I just turned 30 yesterday, so I'm 30 years old. That's the first time I said this out loud. Like, yeah. So that's that.
All right, and did you enjoy your birthday?
A bit too much, but yeah, I did enjoy my birthday. It was cool. It was fun. It was fun. You know, I'm paying the price for the fun that I had now. You know, suffering
I
the
see.
consequences.
I see.
But it was great. It was a good birthday.
All right, well, I have a couple of questions I'd like to ask you pertaining to modern day situations that we all are involved in.
Okay.
And one of the first questions I'd like to ask you is, do you believe men have become too feminine?
Oh my God. Of course they do. Yeah, I do. I really believe men have become so feminine. For instance, I was dating this one guy and he literally wants to be the princess in the fucking relationship. And I feel like that's what most men are like nowadays. I just kind of don't see why they don't just get with each other. But yeah,
So most men, do you feel like you think it is most men? It's not like a percentage of men. It's just most men that have now adopted this feminine role.
I think it's a good 40% of men who want to be fucking princesses these days.
Mm. What do you think would have caused something like that?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. It could be the pick Mishas that start this stuff and make it like easy for men to actually think that they can be a princess, But
What
I
is a
really
pick
don't
me?
know. A pick Misha, pick Misha. It's that girl that does anything for a man to try and keep a man, to try and get a man, So they give them way too much attention and just doing way too much that they're not supposed to be doing. The man's
What's
supposed to be
what's
the one chasing. Pick
what's the
Misha's.
way too much?
Oh my gosh. I'm getting a call, so I didn't mean to click that. But yeah.
What's the way too much?
Pardon?
What is the way too much? What are the things that women are doing that they're doing
Like,
too much of?
you know what? It's like for instance, like I don't believe in cooking for a man until like I'm married to that man. Or, I'm almost married to that man. And then a pick Misha will be out there cooking for that man, cleaning for that man, doing wife duties on like a girlfriend budget. That's just stupid. That's pick Misha's.
All right. Would it be safe or fair to say that when you're dating somebody, for the most part, especially if you're taking this person seriously, would you say that when you're dating somebody, it's something like a interview to see if you're going to be someone's wife or husband?
I mean, it's like a short interview. It's not like the whole interview. I guess okay, it is a fucking interview because I know where you're trying to swing this. I know how you're trying to swing this back on me. But anyway, yeah, okay, fine. It's an interview.
All right. Well, if during that interview someone
Mhm.
didn't display the skills that would be required for the job, would
Mhm.
you say that, I mean, or if they just decided to display those skills or those talents, would that be doing too much or would that be showing that you're qualified for a role?
I mean, I guess it depends on the skills and I like which gender it is. Is this the man doing it or is this the woman doing it?
Well, in this case, you said pick me Nisha.
Misha, pick Misha. Just pick me. They're
Oh,
begging to
pick
be
Misha.
picked.
All
Pick
right.
Misha.
Well, if she's doing too much and she's all out here and stuff, do pick Mishas get boyfriends?
Pygmies just get boyfriends. Yeah, they do get boyfriends, but I don't know. I think pygmies they're
So
very
if they get,
funny. They fall into the boyfriend, like they fall into the girlfriend and side chick material. So
well,
they
if you're
end
a
up
girlfriend,
being
you're
they
not a
end up
side chick.
being they end up being the placemats. They end up being the placemats for like the women that guy actually wanted. But because now Pick Misha's out here doing everything that he wants, and is available and is doing his laundry and is doing his cooking and is doing his cleaning, he's keeping her around. But as soon as he finds like headway with a woman who isn't going to be doing all that stuff and a woman who's more attractive or a woman who makes them feel like a man because, I don't know. That's when they're gonna step up on, pick Mishas, basically. He forgets
So
about the pick Misha.
so
They
so,
like
so
throwing
oh,
that.
okay, I get it now. So you're saying they do all of that stuff just to get left behind?
They do that stuff and they get left behind.
So you're saying men would rather have a woman who does nothing for them
I think men would
but be
rather
pretty?
have a woman who is not easy to get. And pick Mishas are very easy to get. And they're very easy to keep.
All right. Well,
So
what's the
there's no
time
thrill,
frame?
there's no challenge.
What's the time frame in which something like cooking or cleaning would be acceptable?
I'm not saying don't cook for your man. That's not what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I mean, you
But that
can you can you can make a dinner, invite your friends and let your man come and taste the food because there are other guests there. So technically you're not just cooking for your man. You're cooking for him and his
so it,
friends
it's
and your
wrong to cook
friends.
for your man.
Pardon?
It's wrong to cook for your man.
It's like I just feel like, you know what? Like I feel like you gotta be really serious with that man for you to be like really, really serious for you to start cooking for that man. I mean, don't be doing wife duties on like I said, like on a
What's
girlfriend's
the
budget,
time frame for that then?
a girlfriend's timeline, huh?
What's the time frame for that? So what I mean by
I
that is, if there's a time frame in which these things would be acceptable, is it like is it 3 months into the relationship? Is it 4 months, a year? How long will it take before you will start doing things in exchange for what he's doing for you?
um I don't know, maybe like I said, you can do the normal dinner, with your friends and everything like that. And this is where he gets to taste test, you know what I mean? He gets to see the goods that you're bringing to the table, you know what I mean? He gets to see what you actually cook like because he's like, oh my God, your food was so fucking amazing. How come you never cook for me? Oh, and then that's a whole. I'm not trying to put my trade secrets out there, but like, when that time comes, you gotta give him like a couple of months after that. Then that's when you can actually cook for him. A couple of
So
months
what do
after that,
you
so that he can become more serious and wonder, why doesn't she cook for me? Why would she only cook for me? In a setting where there are a bunch of people when I already know that she can cook. It's not like she's a bad cook. You know what I mean? She's a good
but
cook.
so what is the woman doing in that entire time?
What do you mean? What is the woman doing that entire time? What kind of a question is that? She's there living her best life, being cute,
So so so
making
that's
you look
it.
cute too, being an accessory, just like a shiny watch or something, make you look good and shit. So yeah, that's what women's doing.
So women are accessories.
I mean, when you really think about it, I don't want to say it in a way that women are accessories as per se, but like, come on, come on. Women are
But
like,
wouldn't an
women are
accessory
basically
be like more of
accessories.
like a? I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Women are basically accessories. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? I saw this TikTok the other day. I saw this TikTok the other day, and it kind of described how men don't even really like women. You know what I mean? Like if they could, if it wasn't for the aspect of being gay, men would marry their homies. You know what I mean? Like men don't really like women like that. Yeah, fine, they like having sex and all that stuff, but they don't really like us. You know?
All right. Well, I'd like to back up a little bit. So if if a woman is an accessory, like a good woman is an accessory, and she's just meant to be pretty and make you look good, while the pick me's are doing wifely duties, wouldn't the accessory be the side chick?
You would think so. You would think so, but you know what? Like men are always gonna go for the better looking woman, and the pick mishas are never really the better looking women. They're always doing too much because they feel like they have to do too much in order to secure a man. You know.
All right. Well, just to toss out a little small statistic. When it comes to what men and women find attractive, as of right now, we get that information from dating applications and dating sites.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, men swipe right. Like if you're familiar with Tinder or anything like that, that match system, men
I've
swipe
been
right.
banned from Tinder. Uh huh.
Well, for sure. But men swipe right 88% of the time.
Uh
So
huh.
when men have their phones and they're swiping through all the women that they see, they select 88% of those women. When women are on their phones, they select 20%. They only swipe right 20% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is if you're only swiping right on 20% of the men, then that would put those men in something like a 10% category of selection among all men.
Uh-huh.
So if that's the case, then that would logically mean that those women who are all swiping right on that one dude, they're all sleeping with the same man, which is why their views are kind of the same about men. It's because they're sleeping with the same man.
Mm-hmm.
So does that correlate in any way to what you're saying now?
So basically, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I see the correlation, but that's just okay. I want to find a way to word this. I want to find a way. I'm looking for the words. Looking for the words. Um, that doesn't separate the fact that, you know, okay, that one man that is probably sleeping with those 80% of women, right? Those
Hmm.
80% of women and all that stuff. That's an internal problem with the man himself. So I can't really base everything that I just said on the general rule of, oh, Tinder guys. You know what I mean?
What problem would that man have?
I don't know, honestly. Like, what's the reason why men feel the need to, maybe probably self-esteem issues, feel the need to sleep
Actually,
with
that would
that
be
many women?
I wouldn't say logically it wouldn't be a self-esteem issue if he's sleeping with that many men, if he's sleeping with that many women, logically that man has an abundance of confidence because he can select any women he
I
wants.
don't actually think it's an abundance of confidence. I just think that maybe, maybe he sleeps with a lot of women and a lot of them don't come back. So that's why he keeps on sleeping with other women. You know what I mean? Maybe he really sucks in bed and that's why he doesn't get the second date. You know what I mean? He gets the first one, they smash, and because, that sex didn't stick, because a woman will never leave a man with really good sex. Like, at least not that soon, you know? But if he sucks in bed, he has to keep on trying. So that could be one of the reasons why he wants to sleep with all these women. It could be a reason.
Well, I mean, the thing is, no matter what, if all of these women are sleeping with him, that means all of those women are choosing him. So if he's being chosen without doing much by all of these women, then a lack of confidence wouldn't really be his thing. I mean, he really wouldn't have to do much for it at all.
But don't forget, if we're using dating sites as the bar, if we're using dating sites as the bar, don't forget that not everybody you go on a date with are you gonna sleep with, or not everybody you go on a date with is a match. Like, not everybody's gonna actually date you. You know?
Is it common for women to have sex on the first date?
Pardon?
Is it common for women to have sex on the first date?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think
What
so.
percentage of women would you say have sex on the first date?
What? Can you come again?
What percentage of women would you say have sex on the first date?
I want to say like 35%.
35%? All right.
35.
And I'll just let you know that all these questions they pertain to like our like Western society, so U.S., U.K., Ukraine. You know what I mean? Like U.S., U.K., that area. Because I can't speak for other countries. I don't know what goes
You
on.
gotta remember that I'm African, so we're not the same. You know what I mean? I know these. I don't.
Well, that's
I don't want to
cool
say
because I'd
names,
love to
but
have.
I know people in different countries are different. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this is where I mean this conversation always steers this way. But no matter what, whatever situation that we're in, it's because of our moral system. Whatever we believe is all right, and whatever we believe isn't all right. So,
Yeah.
in a situation between men and women with something like a man having all of these options, would it be reasonable for him to only be with one woman?
If he has all these options, I mean,
Hmm.
it depends on what you're looking for going on the date site to begin with. And
Well, if we're
I
going
noticed.
on, if we're well, if we're going on what you, if we're going on just the base model of what you've given so far as a quality woman, meaning a woman that withdraws and doesn't do all this stuff for you, if every woman he's encountering is just having sex with him and they do nothing for him, what reason would he stay with only one of them when he can get multiple?
Well, then that would have to mean that he probably joined the dating site not looking for a woman to be with. And that's why, and the problem is men will lie a lot saying that, oh, they're looking for a relationship when they know they just wanted something casual. Like, and I respect the men that go on the dating sites and they write in their bio, they write that I'm just looking for them casual. I'm not looking for a relationship. Like, I respect men that can do that. Not the men who are gonna waste your time,
Hmm.
but then deep down they know that they don't want to have a relationship. They just want to see how many women they can have sex with by the end of the year. You know what I mean?
All right. So if a wife is a glorified accessory up until before she's
A
even a
wife?
wife.
No, no, no. A wife is not a glorified accessory. A wife is not.
Well, I
That's
mean, if you
different. You can't put wives into this. You can't put wives into this. You know what I mean? I'm not like you make it seem like. Okay, what can I say? You make it seem like you're not gonna do anything at all. You know what I mean? I mean, women can be there for you emotionally. Emotional support. They can be that shoulder to cry on. Boobs are very nice to cry on.
well,
It's
let me ask you this:
it's
once
not just
you
about
saying
the
that out
boobs.
loud, you saying that out loud makes me want to ask you another question.
Oh no.
Would you be
Okay.
attracted to a man who wanted to cry on your shoulders?
What? I feel like you know what? I feel like when you have the right woman, like you know that they're a safe space and you just cry in front of them. I'm just saying.
Okay, are you
Even
a
the
safe
toughest
space?
man will break down in a safe space.
Are you a safe space?
Am I a safe space? Sometimes. Like
Oh, sometimes.
sometimes. Sometimes I'm a safe
Sometimes.
space. Sometimes it
So it's so
depends.
it's
I guess it
only
depends on
so
the
it's only all
I guess it
right for
depends
a
on the
man.
relationship.
So it's only all right for a man to cry sometimes.
I'm not saying that it's all right for men to cry. They can cry as much as they want. They can cry. You know what I
All
mean?
right,
Like
cool.
men should
But
cry.
all right, well, if men are supposed to cry, would you be with a man who cries?
How often does he cry? Like, I
It
need to
doesn't
know.
matter, you know. Some
No,
how often
because
do
like,
women
no,
cry?
it depends how often he cries. Like, how often
How
does he
often do
cry?
women cry?
Give me like a scenario here. Does he bitch and moan about work every single day and cry about it every day, or does he like break down every 3 or 6 months because things are getting tough and he needs a shoulder to lean on?
You know what's funny? Let's even go with that. Let's say every 3 to 5 months, your man is crying on you. Is that something that you're gonna be attracted to? Do you think you're gonna be able to? He's gonna be like, babe, I just need to cry it out one time. You know, could you come here, please? Is that something you're gonna be attracted to?
I
And
mean, like,
keep in mind, I will believe whatever you tell me. I have no reason to doubt you. But you know if you're lying or not. So would you honestly be attracted to a man who was going to cry on you every 3 to 5 months?
okay, like, let's say every 5 months. Every 5 months, yeah, I could. Like, I would be. I could. You know? Yeah. Like, if he's not like a terrible crier, of course. I mean, come on, I'm a nice person. So I would definitely be a shoulder to lean
Where
on for that guy. But
where
just it shouldn't be that thing where he's crying all the time because women are always crying. We're always crying. Like I get up out of the bed in the morning and I'm crying. I'm crying that I have to fucking go to work. So you can't cry like my crying. Like
All right, I mean,
so.
let's just say, I don't know what a crying man would cry about, but let's say the movie was a little sad.
Wait, so you want so wait, so wait, can I ask you a question? You don't cry? Is that what you're saying? Or you don't
Well,
cry in front of your woman?
I don't think any man should, logically,
Why?
because no woman, regardless of what they say out of their mouths, is attracted to a sobbing and crying man. They find it emotionally vulnerable and weak because if he's emotionally, you're supposed to be emotionally vulnerable. If he's emotionally vulnerable as well, then logically that would say to a woman that this man more than likely can't protect you in a serious situation. Which is why women are not attracted to crying men.
Like,
And then
but
think
it
about it in a long.
happens. But
I'm
it
sorry.
can happen. It can happen. Like, okay, let's say your girlfriend is walking out because girls can be so toxic sometimes. Let's say your girlfriend's walking out on you, wants to break up with you, and you don't want to break up with them. You want to tell me you won't cry in front of her?
I think logically that is a pathetic move.
Really? Like, show me
Absolutely.
your emotion. You're actually hurting. You don't want to break up with her, and she wants to break up with you.
Well, for what reason does she want to leave this person?
Well, like maybe she's just not that into you anymore. I don't know.
Right. So for what? Maybe it's because he's a crying man.
He hasn't cried yet. Wait, He hasn't cried yet. He hasn't
Do you
cried
think
yet.
crying
But
would
this is
help?
his opportunity to cry.
Do you think if she's gonna leave him because she's not feeling him? Do you think crying is gonna make him come back? Make her come back? That's
Okay,
gonna
fine,
really make him
fine.
want
Let
him.
me, let me. I don't know. Okay, fine. Maybe he cheated. Okay, but like she's probably not gonna come back
All
after he's
right,
cheated.
that's a common. Actually, logically, most women don't mind being cheated on, regardless of what they say. And to help you get this mode of thought, I'm very sure you have friends who have said something like, "Oh, he cheated on me before. That I'm the second person he cheated on me before. This is the third time he cheated on me." You've heard that before, right?
I've heard that before, and I've really told my friends a bunch of shit about that. But go on.
But right, maybe I'm sure you're a unique case, but most women when they get cheated on, they don't really mind. They might want to cry about it, but they're not going to leave their dude for the most part. But when men get cheated on, that's the end. Because just like would you agree that
Their egos are so fragile.
no, would you agree that sex is different for a man and a woman?
I think so. I would agree that it's different for a man and a woman. First of all, like majority of guys suck at sex to begin with.
Well,
But
regardless of if
that's a
somebody's
conversation for
orgasming or
another
not.
day. I know that's not how you were asking it.
All right,
Yeah.
honestly, that's even saying that would be a logical fact. I mean, most men wouldn't be good at sex logically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most dudes, from what I understand, sex lasts for minutes for the common person.
Hmm.
Um, but what I mean by that is, do you think that most women would say that sex is an emotional thing for them and even spiritually connecting? Would you say men feel like that on average?
Okay. I can tell you this right now. I can tell you that women can also have sex with no emotions, by the way. It won't mean anything.
Is that
It's like,
common?
pardon?
Is that common?
Is it common? I know for a fact where I live right now, like the country I live in right now, like that's fucking common, That's fucking common. And when I was staying in Cape Town, that was so common. Like women were the ones who when you have a guy over at your house and like maybe you had a one night stand, you would literally say to him, like, I called your Uber and it's outside. That's how women are.
Damn,
You know what
word.
I mean? They really don't care. It's not that generation of women that, oh my God, we had sex and this. It's not really that deep.
All right, so that is cut. You got the Uber outside? That used to be some grimy shit we used to say back in the day. Like, but yeah, actually calling somebody an Uber, that's some grimy shit that used to happen in like the early 2000s, man. Damn. But would you say something like that is healthy?
I mean, I guess it depends where you are in your life and what your mindset is at that moment. I sometimes it's healthier to be single, and maybe you just want an orgasm here and there, and chances are you're better off getting that orgasm from a toy. But, if you're gonna go to the extent of sleeping with someone, it could be healthy if you know how to handle your shit.
All right. All right. And I'm glad that you said mentally fit for it because that would mean in order for a woman to have sex without a connection, she'd have to have some sort of mental conditioning for it, meaning it's not healthy or normal, right?
No, I'm just saying that you need to be willing to not care enough. Some women do get those feelings and get attached through sex. You know what I mean? They
I think
do.
most women do.
But someone understand that, it's just a normal thing, just like kissing someone, you know?
All right. Do
Like,
you think in
yeah.
the long run that's given in the long run, given that everybody wants to most people want to eventually become someone's husband or wife.
Hmm.
Do you think, given that that is the goal, doing stuff like hooking up in this party culture that we got going on now, do you think that's healthy?
It depends on the person. I mean, I guess for people who want to get married, it's not really, ooh, man. I'd be looking cuter without the light. But anyway, I just wanted to dim the light a bit. It's just too much. Like it's just too much. But Yeah, I mean, I guess like if you're trying to get married, then that's not a healthy lifestyle to have. You know what I mean? And it's not something easy to break out of if you are trying to get married, because chances are when you do get married, you're gonna cheat. You know, because you're not really used to committing. You're used to like just sleeping with people and then dashing off. You know, so I don't think it's healthy for those who want to get married. But if, for those people that know that marriage is not in the cards for them, it's nothing that they want, and they don't want to commit, then it works really well.
Right. But would you say most people want that for themselves?
Want what? Marriage?
No, the party life.
And I can't say most people. Like it just, I guess it depends, eh? Yeah, fine. Yeah, most people. Most people.
All right. Well, logically, most people wouldn't be on something like that. Just because to help you get an idea of why that wouldn't be, people still undergo marriages. People, no matter what they do, they still seek out someone to be with. People have children, and children populate the planet. Therefore, most people who have children, they have a child with somebody intentionally. They have a child with somebody who they want to be with.
Mhm.
And people don't have children on a party hookup. You know what I mean? Like I'm not from Africa or anything, but I don't know if that's is that something that happens out there? Do people just like having a child isn't a big deal?
No, 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 no. Obviously, you won't intentionally have a child with someone you just hooked up with.
Right.
You have children with people that you probably saw futures with.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So given the whole hookup culture, even any woman who didn't want to be a wife, there's always for her the possibility of getting pregnant,
Hmm.
right? So something like that happening, would the result of that be healthy?
I mean, I guess that's why there's these things called abortions. You know what I mean? Like people, like this is not 10, 15 years ago where abortion was such a big thing that was shunned upon. You know what I mean? And
Why do you think
now,
that
like
is?
women make mistakes and they get abortions all the time. Like
Why do you think that
they,
is?
you know, I don't know. I feel like a lot of this generation, like a lot of people that I know at least, don't even want to have kids in general. But the ones that do want to have kids acknowledge the fact that they made a mistake. They slept with the wrong person, and this is not the type of person that they want to be there for the rest of their lives. It was probably a hookup, and nobody wants to have a child from a hookup. You know?
Right. Right. Would you say that morally we are in a better position than our grandfathers and grandmothers were?
Hmm. Hmm. It's a tough one. You know, it's a it's a tough one. It's a tough one because if you take away a lot of things that morally, like right now, obviously, I mean, I know we're mostly talking about the abortion thing. Obviously, back then, that wouldn't have been a thing that happens. But there's a lot of things that women couldn't do in a relationship back then. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a 50-50 thing, you know?
No, I don't get it.
You don't get it. Well, some countries, it's still happening. Some countries are different. But like, don't forget our grandfathers and our grandmothers couldn't speak to men the way that they speak to men now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if I was married to you, I wouldn't be able to address you the same way that I'm addressing you like right now. I wouldn't be able to open with my mind or, act a certain way or be completely the person I want to be. I'd have to be a set standard of what you want me to be because I'm your wife, basically. I'm literally from the day that I'm born up until the day that I get married, I'm groomed to be your wife. You know what I mean? I'm groomed to just want to be a wife. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the same. Women these days have options. They have choices. If I don't like the way that you're speaking to me, then I can walk off. Back then, if I
So
don't
no
like the
woman
way that you're
had.
speaking to me, I'm stuck with you. That's how the marriages worked. Women were scared to get divorced. Nowadays, you make one mistake and we're out the door, you know?
So
So,
back then, women didn't have a choice at all. Like if a dude was like, "You're my girlfriend," that was it.
no, I'm not saying that they didn't have a choice at all.
So they
I'm
did
not
have
saying
a
that they
choice.
didn't have
So
a choice.
so so.
I'm just saying that a lot of things could be looked past when you're with someone.
Well, I want to stick with that. So if they did have a choice, right? If
Hmm.
those women did have a choice, they weren't slaves or anything, right? Like they had a right to say who they wanted to be with, right?
Hmm.
something like domestic abuse, something like being verbally abused, that doesn't happen out of nowhere. So if
Mm-hmm.
somebody was in a relationship with someone who was abusing them in any form, that's something that they've put up with for quite some time. Would
Mm-hmm.
it be their fault for selecting someone who verbally abuses them or whatever
You
type of
gotta
abuse?
you gotta think.